Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurmila Rusda Azmi. I am semester 6 unit 2. In this occasion, I will present my research. The title is Learner Autonomy, an Educational Goal of Teaching Foreign Language at UPT Pengembangan Bahasa YIN Langsa. The table of the content itu sama seperti penelitian biasanya. Ada research question, research hypothesis, research objective, and research method, and etc. ya. Next, background of the study. In informal education context, the basis of learner autonomy is acceptance of responsibility for one's own learning. The development of learner autonomy depends on the exercise of the responsibility in a never-ending effort to understand what one is learning, why one is learning, how one is learning, and with what degree of success and effect of learner autonomy is to remove the barriers that so easily erect themselves between formal learning and the wider environment in which the learner lives. As we know that in UPT Pengembangan Bahasa, there are provide supporting facilities for learning language such as computers, infocus, speakers, etc. That is why the study will focus on the goals of teaching language in UPT Pengembangan Bahasa at YIN Langsa. Next is research questions. The research questions only one. What are the goals of teaching foreign language at UPT Pengembangan Bahasa? Next, research hypothesis. I'm so sorry, searchnya ini B ya. Lanjut aja. UPT Pengembangan Bahasa is one of facilities by educational institution aimed at teaching foreign language and using student autonomy method, which how students are responsibility for itself in developing foreign language skill using available facilities at UPT Pengembangan Bahasa to achieve educational goals. Research objective. In the study, which became the object of the research, was an educational goal in teaching foreign language at UPT Pengembangan Bahasa YIN Langsa. I'm so sorry, I'm missing you over there. Sorry. And next is a research method. This research was use quantitative research and with experimental research model. This is evidence by researchers who went directly to the location of research on YIN Langsa in Aceh. First is location of the research. This research will be conducted at YIN Langsa, more precisely on the Merandeh Road, Langsa City. And then time of research. This research will be begun on June. I think on July to August from pre-survey to complete. And then next, the population and sample. The population in the study was all the language lecture of English and Arabic at YIN Langsa. I think in UPT Pengembangan Bahasa is not only English language but Arabic language. I mean like that. Next, sample. In this study, the sample used was 10 English lecture and 10 from Arabic lecture. Like I said before, in UPT Pengembangan Bahasa is not only English language but Arabic language too. Research significant. Next, the significance of this research can be theoretically and practically. For theoretically, research result can provide information in obtaining English. The study also inform readers that there are the educational goal teaching foreign language. B. Practical. The results of the study are expected to be achieved the goal of developing foreign language skill for students. G. Literature review. In the literature review, A. Learner autonomy. The term learner autonomy has been used in educational since the early 1980, when it was first used by the educator Henry Hollick. Yeah. And then learner autonomy is especially important in EAP since students may need to continue to develop their EAP skill without the help of an EAP teacher. For example, when they have progressed from foundation or pre-sessional course to undergraduate degrees. For EAP, English for academic purpose ya. Next, B. Micro and macro structures learning environment. Micro learning. Thing we can quickly read, view, or consume, and they only take 10 minutes or less. They may be a video, a blog, or a set of instructional questions that help us think differently than we did before. Yeah. And the macro learning model is based on a structured, longer term learning path and curriculum. It is geared generally for companies who wish to enhance the skill set of workers in area primarily driven by technology change and evolution. Micro-learning, on the other hand, is something we do when we want to truly learn a whole new domain. Next, social and exposure language learning. Social and exposure. According a well-known study of second language exposure, the quality of the language environment that the student is surrounded by is crucial to success in learning a new language. Therefore, exposure to the new language should not be the only focus when learning that language, on the risk failing to know the correct usage of language or when to use it. As a AFL student myself, at one point I experienced this firsthand. Yeah. For the example over there. Next, cognitive behavior. Cognitive behavior therapy is a widespread counseling practice used to treat anxiety. It shares similarities with some technique employs in advising in a language learning. Yeah. Pass. Age. Research design. Research design can be thought of as the structure of research. It is the glue that holds all of the elements in research project together. Research design are used research guidelines for data collection and data analysis. Yeah. And then classroom. In this study, the classroom that were subject was students language department and at IAI and Langsa. Next, the variable. The variable are characteristic of a research object that has variation based on relationship between variables. Variables are divided into two, namely independent variable or dependent variable. Based on the title of the research, has one variable that can be researched, especially an educational goal of teaching foreign language. So that is the most important variable that will be the primarily of the research, only an educational goal of teaching foreign language. Yeah. Next, the instrument. The information was obtained by the researcher through printed questionnaires and conduct the survey by interviewing respondents in depth. To support the research process, researcher will use tape recorder and the interview guide that has been composed. Next, the procedure of data collection. In this study, the process of taking and collecting data was obtained after previously obtaining permission from YIN Langsa to conducting research. As an initial step in the research, researcher will select respondent based on the inclusion criteria that have been determined and calculate the size of the sample. After getting the desired respondent, the next step is to seek approval from the research respondent by giving an agreement to become the respondent. M. Procedure of data analysis nih. I'm sorry, ini terbalik. Data analysis is an ongoing process that requires continuous reflection on data, asking analytical questions, and writing brief notes throughout the study. Procedure of data analysis. First step is data collection, editing data, coding, testing. I'm so sorry. To accuracy of the data, describing the data, and the last, testing the data. Okay, I think just that my presentation, and I hope my research was good. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.